Imagine entire civilizations, millions of people, magnificent cities, advanced technology, just disappearing. No warning, no explanation, just gone. From the jungles of Central America to the deserts of Pakistan, sophisticated societies suddenly abandoned their cities and vanished into history. Some left clues, others left only questions. These are 7 of the most advanced ancient civilizations that mysteriously disappeared, and we still don't fully understand why. The Maya weren't one civilization. They were dozens of city-states spanning Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. At their peak, around 800 AD, they had 10 to 15 million people, rivaling medieval Europe.
The Maya were incredibly advanced. They developed the only fully written language in pre-Columbian Americas. Their mathematics included the concept of zero, something ancient Greeks and Romans never figured out. Their astronomical observations were so precise they calculated the solar year to 365.2420 days. We calculated at 365.2422 days. They were off by 17 seconds per year. They built massive pyramid temples, some over 200 feet tall. Tikal, one of their largest cities, had 100,000 residents. These weren't primitive people. They had complex governments, extensive trade networks, sophisticated art, and advanced architecture. Then, between 800 and 900 AD, something catastrophic happened. This is called the classic Maya collapse. Within a century, major cities were abandoned, populations dropped by 90%, construction stopped. The great city of Tikal, empty. Copan, abandoned. Palenque, deserted. People walked away from cities that had stood for centuries. What happened? We have theories, but no definitive answer. Theory 1, mega-drought. Recent climate data shows the region experienced severe droughts between 800 and 1000 AD, the worst in 7,000 years. Crops failed, water sources dried up, millions starved. Theory 2, warfare. Maya cities constantly fought each other. Warfare became so intense it destabilized entire regions. Trade collapsed, refugees fled. Theory 3, environmental collapse. The Maya cleared forests for agriculture and building materials. This caused soil erosion, made droughts worse, and destroyed their agricultural base. They essentially deforested themselves to death. Likely, it was all 3. Drought, warfare, and environmental damage created a perfect storm that brought down one of history's greatest civilizations. The Maya didn't completely vanish. 7 million Maya descendants live today in Central America, but the great cities? Still abandoned, slowly being reclaimed by jungle. The Indus Valley civilization is one of history's greatest mysteries because we can barely read their writing.
Around 2500 BC, in what's now Pakistan and northwest India, one of the world's first great civilizations emerged. The Harappan culture built over 1,000 settlements across 500,000 square miles, larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. Their cities were marvels of urban planning. Mohenjo-daro and Harappa had populations of 40,000 to 50,000. They featured grid-patterned streets, sophisticated drainage systems, public baths, and standardized brick sizes. Their sewage systems were more advanced than many cities had until the 1800s. They had uniform weights and measures across the entire civilization, suggesting strong central authority or cultural unity. They traded with Mesopotamia 1,500 miles away. Harappan seals have been found in Sumerian cities. Here's what's strange. No grand palaces, no temples, no monuments to kings. Unlike Egypt with pyramids or Mesopotamia with ziggurats, the Harappans seem remarkably egalitarian. Houses were similar sizes, wealth was relatively evenly distributed. Then, around 1900 BC, it all ended. Cities were gradually abandoned over about 300 years. The great urban centers became ghost towns. The civilization fragmented into smaller villages. Advanced city planning disappeared. Writing vanished. Why? We don't know for certain because we can't fully read their script. Harappan writing remains undeciphered despite thousands of seals and inscriptions. Without understanding their language, we're missing the story. Theory 1, climate change. Around 1900 BC, monsoon patterns shifted. The Saraswati River, mentioned in ancient texts and vital to Harappan agriculture, dried up. Without water, cities couldn't sustain populations. Theory 2, Aryan invasion. Early theories suggested Indo-Aryan migrants invaded and destroyed Harappan cities. This is now disputed. There's little archaeological evidence of violent conquest. Theory 3, epidemic. Some skeletons show signs of disease. A plague might have devastated populations. Theory 4, earthquakes. The region is seismically active. Major earthquakes could have damaged cities and altered river courses. Most likely, environmental change, especially the drying of the Saraswati River, made large cities unsustainable. People dispersed to smaller settlements. The urban civilization collapsed, but the people survived. Many modern South Asians are their descendants. The mystery endures because without reading their writing, we're guessing.
Hidden in the Cambodian jungle lies one of history's most magnificent lost cities, Angkor. At its peak in the 12th–13th centuries, Angkor was the largest pre-industrial city in the world, bigger than modern London at the time. The Khmer Empire's capital covered over 400 square miles and housed nearly 1 million people. Angkor Wat, built in the early 1100s, remains the largest religious monument on Earth. The temple complex covers 400 acres. Its construction required more stone than all the Egyptian pyramids combined. The precision is astounding. Some stones fit so perfectly you can't slide a knife blade between them. The Khmer built an incredibly sophisticated water management system, massive reservoirs called barays, canals, and moats. These controlled flooding, provided irrigation, and symbolized cosmic oceans in Hindu cosmology. This hydraulic city was an engineering marvel. Angkor was wealthy beyond imagination. Temples were covered in gold. Zhou Daguan, a Chinese diplomat who visited in 1296, described towers of gold and citizens adorned with precious metals. It was a thriving Buddhist and Hindu center. Then, sometime in the 1400s, it was abandoned. The jungle slowly consumed the city. Massive tree roots grew through temple walls. Buildings collapsed. By the 1860s, when French explorers discovered it, locals knew it existed, but the scale was lost to history. What happened? Theory 1. War. Thai kingdoms repeatedly invaded Angkor. In 1431, the Siamese army sacked the city. The Khmer capital moved to Phnom Penh, and Angkor was gradually abandoned. Theory 2. Religious conversion. As Theravada Buddhism replaced Hinduism, the religious significance of Angkor's Hindu temples declined. The spiritual center shifted. Theory 3. Environmental collapse. Recent research using LiDAR technology revealed Angkor's water system was overextended. The complex network of canals and reservoirs became unmanageable. Climate change brought intense monsoons, followed by droughts. The infrastructure couldn't handle the extremes. Canals became clogged. Floods destroyed embankments. The same water system that built the empire may have doomed it. When agriculture collapsed, the massive population couldn't be sustained. Theory 4. Trade route changes. Maritime trade routes shifted away from Angkor, reducing wealth and importance. Most experts now believe it was a combination. Warfare weakened the empire, environmental stress made the city unsustainable, and changing trade patterns reduced its economic power. Angkor didn't collapse overnight. It was a gradual abandonment over decades. Today, Angkor Wat is Cambodia's national symbol. But the question remains, how could humanity's largest pre-industrial city just fade into the jungle?
In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, 2,000 miles from the nearest continent, stands one of archaeology's greatest mysteries, Easter Island. The Rapa Nui people arrived around 1200 AD, possibly from Polynesia. They found a lush, forested island and built a remarkable civilization. Then they created the moai, those massive stone heads you've seen in photos. Nearly 900 moai were carved from volcanic rock. The average moai weighs 14 tons. The largest ever moved weighs 82 tons. How did they transport these across the island without modern technology? We're still not entirely sure. At its peak, around 1600, Easter Island's population may have reached 15,000 people. They had a complex society with chiefs, priests, and commoners. They developed a writing system called Rongo-Rongo, still largely undeciphered. Then came catastrophe. When Europeans arrived in 1722, they found a barren, treeless island with only 2,000 to 3,000 inhabitants living in poverty. The great moai production had stopped. Many statues were toppled. What happened? The traditional theory? Ecocide, environmental suicide. The islanders cut down every tree for moai transportation, agriculture, and firewood. Without trees, soil eroded, crops failed. They couldn't build boats, so fishing became difficult. They couldn't leave. As resources dwindled, society collapsed into warfare. Clans toppled rival moai in revenge. Cannibalism emerged from desperation. The population crashed from starvation and violence. Jared Diamond used Easter Island as a cautionary tale about environmental destruction in his book Collapse. But recent research complicates this narrative. New theory? Rats and disease were primary causes. Polynesian rats arrived with the first settlers. Without natural predators, they multiplied explosively. Rats ate palm tree seeds, preventing forest regeneration. The deforestation may have been primarily rat-caused, not human-caused. Additionally, European contact brought diseases, smallpox, TB, syphilis. Populations crashed from epidemics, not just resource depletion. Then came the Peruvian slave raids of the 1860s. Slavers kidnapped 1,500 islanders, half the population. Those who returned brought smallpox, killing more. So was Easter Island ecocide or ecological accident combined with colonial devastation? The debate continues. What's certain, the Rapa Nui went from building some of humanity's most impressive monuments to barely surviving on a barren rock. Whether by their own hands or external factors, the civilization that created the moai disappeared.
Named after the legendary King Minos of Minotaur fame, the Minoans built magnificent palace complexes. The Palace of Knossos covered 20,000 square meters with over 1,000 rooms. It had running water, flush toilets, and sophisticated plumbing, luxuries Europe wouldn't see again for over 3,000 years. Minoan frescoes show a prosperous, artistic society. Women wore elaborate dresses and had significant social status, unusual for ancient civilizations. They worshipped goddesses. Their art shows bull-leaping ceremonies, dolphins, and peaceful scenes, no warfare glorification. The Minoans dominated Mediterranean trade from 2700 to 1450 BC. They had a powerful navy and trading posts across the Aegean. They developed a writing system called Linear A, still undeciphered. They seemed to live without fortifications. Palaces weren't walled. This suggests either remarkable peace or naval supremacy that made land defenses unnecessary. Then, around 1450 BC, the Minoan civilization suddenly collapsed. Most major sites were destroyed, palaces burned, the Linear A script disappeared. The Mycenaean Greeks from mainland Greece took over Crete, bringing their own culture and Linear B writing. What destroyed the Minoans? Theory 1. Volcanic catastrophe. Around 1600 BC, the massive Thera volcano erupted on nearby Santorini, one of history's largest eruptions. It was 4 times stronger than Krakatoa. The explosion was heard 3,000 miles away. Tsunamis up to 40 feet high hit Crete. Ash darkened skies across the Mediterranean. But here's the problem. This was 150 years before the main collapse. The Minoans recovered from Thera initially. Something else finished them off. Theory 2. Mycenaean invasion. The Greeks conquered weakened Minoan cities after Thera devastated their naval power. Archaeological evidence shows destruction layers and the sudden appearance of Mycenaean culture. Theory 3. Internal revolt. Some historians suggest the lower classes revolted against palace elites, destroying the palace-centered economy. Theory 4. Multiple disasters. Perhaps Thera weakened them, then earthquakes, followed by Mycenaean conquest, a cascade of catastrophes rather than one event. The Minoan civilization was so advanced and seemed so stable that its collapse shocked the ancient world. It became the basis for Plato's Atlantis myth, a powerful maritime civilization that vanished in a single day and night. Today, the ruins of Knossos stand as a reminder that even Europe's most advanced civilization could disappear almost overnight. No discussion of lost civilizations is complete without the most famous Atlantis. Here's the thing, Atlantis might be entirely fictional, but it's based on something real.
The story comes from Plato's dialogues Timaeus and Critias, written around 360 BC. Plato describes Atlantis as a powerful island nation beyond the Pillars of Hercules, modern Gibraltar. It was larger than Libya and Asia combined, with a magnificent capital city featuring concentric rings of water and land. Atlantis was technologically advanced and militarily powerful. They had hot and cold running water, sophisticated metallurgy, and a massive navy. They conquered much of Europe and Africa. Then, Plato writes, in a single day and night, Atlantis sank into the ocean, following earthquakes and floods. This supposedly happened 9,000 years before Plato's time, around 9600 BC. For 2,400 years, people have searched for Atlantis. Proposed locations include Santorini, the Minoan Thera eruption connection, the Azores Islands, Antarctica before it was covered in ice, the Bahamas, Spain, even America. But here's the scholarly consensus. Plato invented Atlantis as a philosophical allegory about hubris and divine punishment. It was meant to illustrate a point about good governance, not describe a real place. However, Plato likely drew inspiration from real catastrophes: the Minoan civilization's destruction, the flooding of the Black Sea after the Ice Age, Egyptian stories of Mediterranean catastrophes. Some researchers argue Atlantis was Plato's Minoan Crete. The timeline fits if you reduce Plato's 9,000 years to 900 years, scribal error or deliberate exaggeration. The Thera eruption did destroy an advanced island civilization in a day and night.
Others point to Doggerland, a landmass connecting Britain to Europe that was gradually flooded 8,500 to 6,500 years ago. Maybe ancient memories of this flooding inspired flood myths, including Atlantis. The truth? We'll probably never know. Atlantis has become more legend than history, but the enduring fascination tells us something about human psychology. We love mysteries of lost golden ages. Whether real or myth, Atlantis represents something powerful, the idea that great civilizations can vanish, leaving only myths behind. And given how many real civilizations have disappeared, maybe that's not so far-fetched. 7 civilizations, 7 mysteries. Some we're beginning to understand through archaeology and climate science. Others remain enigmatic. The Maya, Indus Valley, Angkor, Easter Island, the ancestral Pueblanos, Minoans, all built magnificent civilizations. All had sophisticated technology and culture. All disappeared. What's the lesson? Civilizations are fragile. Climate change, environmental destruction, warfare, disease, any combination can bring down even the most advanced society. The past is a warning. No civilization is too advanced to fail. And somewhere out there, buried under jungle, desert, or ocean, there are probably lost civilizations we haven't even discovered yet. What do you think happened to these civilizations? Which mystery fascinates you most? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe to Find Historical for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries.